everyone, my name's Kalthoff and welcome to a Stamping to Share video. I know I have not really shown you much for stamp sets as far as the Sale-a-bration 2016 goes, and that's because I've just been so busy with the occasions catalog, and honestly for my customers there's so many great cards out there using the Sale-a-bration items that I've just been casing, and I don't really feel like I should put those on video if I'm just copying somebody. However, I have come up with one on my own, and I did use this for a swap, but I absolutely love it. And it uses the stamp set that is called Flowering Fields. Let me see if I can find it. Here it is. It looks like this, and this is something, again, that when you purchase $50 from Stampin' Up! Through March 31st, you can have this as a freebie item just added right onto your order at no cost to you. And then it also uses, if you'll notice this designer series paper down here, it uses Flowering Fields designer series paper, again a Sale-a-bration item. And so this is the particular one I used on this card. In fact, this pattern inspired me to create this card. And then you can see this side. Lots of pretty papers in here. And yesterday on my video I was showing you how I love stamping on craft, 12 by 12 craft paper from Stampin' Up! And here is another card that uses the 12 by 12 craft paper. I just think it gives it such a pretty vintage look. It's also really easy to use markers on or to watercolor. You're not going to believe this, but I actually used markers to color this one, and I used my aqua pens to color this one. And there's literally no difference. I mean, you can really not even tell which I used for which. So I will say though that if you're not super experienced with aqua painters, you probably will feel more comfortable with markers. So let's go ahead and I'll show you how I created this card. I use Blackberry Bliss, one of our in colors. Oh, I'm gonna miss it so much. It ends. This color is going to be ending, I think, is it May 31st of 2016? So yeah, we'll miss this one a lot. So I've cut this at 5.5 by 8.5, and I've scored it at 4 1/4, and I'm just going to fold on the score line here, give it a press. I always use my bone folder because then it lies flat for me. So I'm going to set that there. Then we're using 2 pieces of the craft paper. I've cut them down already from our 12 by 12 original piece. Both of them are cut to the same size at 4 inches by 5 1/4. This just gives you a nice 1/4 inch border all the way around it when you put it onto your card. So I'm going to put this one onto the inside of my card because we're not actually going to do anything with it. We're just going to put that right in there, just on the inside panel. And if you wanted to, you could maybe add a little strip of this designer series paper at the bottom. I think a 1/2 inch by 4 inch strip at the bottom would be pretty, but I'm being lazy today and I'm not doing that. Now this is the panel we're going to do some stamping on. So one of the things that I love to do with my clear mount stamps is put them on a clear block, but I put a whole bunch on the clear block at the same time. So you can see that I have all of these pretty flowers and a butterfly, so 5 stamps all on one clear block. Love that. So I can do a lot of stamping in one swoosh. So I'm using my Stays On Black ink pad, and I'm just inking up this whole back piece. And then I want to remember that my paper at the bottom, my designer series paper, which is 1.5 inches by 4 inches, I want to kind of mark that on a grid. Now this is a grid that Stampin' Up! No longer sells. However, we do have grid paper, which is white. I don't use it with videos because it gives me a glare, so the black seems to absorb the light a little better. But I'm just going to count up 3 half-inch spaces, and know that when I put this down, I want to make sure that my stems are going to be below that 1.5 inch mark that I'm kind of marking right here. See how the stems are going to be just a tad bit below that? There we go. So we have that stamp. Boom, just like that. Then today we're going to use the markers. So the markers that I selected to color this are Hello Honey and Lost Lagoon. These can be purchased in the 2014-16 marker set in our annual catalog. And then I'm also using from our subtle set Calypso Coral and a marker from the Bright set called Old Olive. Now, I suppose if you just want to, if you don't have a lot of markers, you could just buy the Subtle set and you could use like Pear Pizzazz or Wild Wasabi, which is a green that you would find in our Subtle set. So to color this, I just go ahead and I take my marker and I just start coloring. So I just dab on a little color onto each of these flowers, and it goes pretty fast, but you know, I'm not gonna make you watch me do all of this, but I'm just showing you how I do it. Now I will give you a little hint with the Hello Honey. I like to hold it on there just a little longer and really color this in, because the Hello Honey is kind of a bright yellow, but yet when you put it on the craft, it's not going to be quite so bright. So I just put this on like so, and you know, make sure I'm getting it good and colored. Then for these flowers, I want to give these a two-tone look. So I just take my Hello Honey and I just kind of scribble some yellow onto those flowers, so it's going to look like this at this point. Then I'm going to take my Calypso Coral in, and I'm just going to just add some Calypso Coral over the top of the Hello Honey, but I want some of the yellow to show through. So let me show you how this is going to look when I get this all colored. Of course, I can hardly see what I'm doing because I have the camera in the way, but hopefully you'll get the idea. So when I hold it up, you can see there's some nice two-tone color going on in those flowers. And then you would do the same thing. You'd just take your green marker and color in your leaves. Now I found when doing these ferns, the easiest way for me to do it is I actually hold the paper upside down and away from myself, and then I just go down like this all on one side. See how fast that is? And then when I'm ready to do the other side, I kind of turn the paper and I'm just going to kind of swoosh down those leaves on the other side. And again, you don't have to worry too much about going in or out of the lines. You want this to just look kind of flowing and natural. So really, don't worry about the lines. So this is where we're at now. So I'm going to show you one that I've already colored because we need to move on. So this is one that I colored in advance of the video, and this is the one I'm going to use to complete the card that I'm showing you today. So again, here's that designer series paper that you can get as a celebration item called Flowering Fields. It's 1.5 inches by 4 inches. I'm going to take my multi-purpose liquid glue, give that a little swirl on the back here, and we're going to set this right on the front of our card. Now we are going to add some ribbon. So I have this ribbon. It is one of our 1-inch dotted lace trim ribbon in the in colors for 2015 through 17. I actually sell this as a ribbon share, and so if you would like to get 2 yards of each of these colors, just email me. I have an email address, stampingtoshare@gmail.com, and I can set you up to be in my dotted lace ribbon share. So I'll give you more information about that. If you're in YouTube, you can just look below in the comments section and I'll have that in there, or in the See More section. So I'm just taking this daffodil, let's see, it's not daffodil, I do this wrong every time. It's Delightful Dijon. That is the name of this particular ribbon. And I am going to use some Scotch tape to tape this around. All right, so I've taped this on, and I really like the way that looks. Now, this to me looks a little bit like I mean, it's not super springy because of the Dijon and the Blackberry Bliss, but to me it looks sort of wintry, so I kind of like that. I mean, in Minnesota, we're always looking for something to brighten up our days, and these are just good, rich colors for a Minnesota winter card. And here is our gold baker's twine. So I'm going to tie off some of this. Now, if I'm just tying in a knot, one easy way to know how much to cut off is to just do 3 what would you call that, 3 lengths. So just go over the top of the card 3 times and you have about the right amount to make a knot on the front of your card. So I'm just going to tie this around. And we're ready to put this on the front of our card. So let me go ahead and we're going to do that with dimensionals. We're going to need 4 dimensionals on the back. And I've put my dimensionals on the back, and you might wonder, why do I use dimensionals on the back? I could just glue this. Yes, I could. However, when I've done a tie on that's a little bit thicker, like this thick baker's twine, the dimensionals kind of give it a little bit of a lift away so you don't have this crease that ends up forming if you were to glue it straight onto your card. So now we can just take this and we're just going to center this in right on the front panel of our card, and it looks fabulous. But one thing we can do to make it even look more fabulous is we're going to add some sequins. So these are the metallic sequins assortment. You can find them on page 160 of the 2015-16 annual catalog. And what I did is I just took 3 of them. I took 3 of the gold ones and put them on glue dots. Then I can take my paper piercing tool and we can just pull these sequins right up from the glue dot and just put it right wherever we want this to be on the front of our card. So I'm going to use 3. We're just going to set these kind of randomly on our card. And the card is now complete. And I think it's just gorgeous. I hope you think so too. This is the card that I just completed, and here's a card I had done in advance. So thank you so much for stopping by Stamping to Share. I truly appreciate you. If you need a demonstrator, be sure to visit my blog at www.stampingtoshare, and I have links there where you can place orders or learn more about product shares. Have a great day. Bye-bye.